My name is Harvey Young, and I am an associate professor of theater at Northwestern University, and I won the Excellence in Editing Award for my book, The Cambridge Companion to African American Theater. An editor brings things together, right? So in creating this book, which is The Cambridge Companion to African American Theater, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create what I thought would be kind of like an ideal class, right? So what if I went out and created an all-star group of lecturers, essentially, and if I could choose whoever I wanted and brought them together in this collection, and I did that, right? So what I did was I got Harry Elam and Sandra Shannon and Sandra Richards and Adrian Mackey-Bracconi and Sam O'Connell, Phaedra Chatar Carpenter, and others, and invited them to join me in thinking about how one would introduce the topic of Black theater. And my job as editor was to be in conversation with them, to make sure that their words link together so that there's a common theme and flow across chapters, so it feels like a united whole, rather than a bunch of sort of random insights. So that's what an editor does, keep things together. Vicki Cooper, who is the acquisitions editor at Cambridge University Press, met with me, and she told me that she wanted me to work with the press, and she invited me to develop a project, and it could be whatever project I wanted. And I had sort of the ability to sort of brainstorm anything, big, small, medium-sized, and she was going to, and she would consider it, for the press. And at the top of my list was creating a collection that would introduce people to African American theater. And I proposed it to Vicki. She supported it. I didn't want to do the project until I knew that I could have the right arrangement of, sort of brilliant, smart, field-defining scholars, in the collection. And I asked, 13 people, all 13 said yes. I met with them, sometimes in person, often by email or by phone, and we made sure we had the same vision for the project, and we worked on it together. And the goal is to recruit people who will be sympathetic to that vision and be willing to contribute toward the realization of it. And that's what I did. So I had many conversations, and I said, here's what I'm envisioning the book looking like, and here's a role I imagine you playing perfectly, and do you agree? And then if they agreed, we sort of fine-tuned their contribution, then that sort of helped us have this more organic, unified whole. So that's what I did, and it's been successful, right? So a person who says, you know what, I don't know anything about Black theater, and I don't know where to start, and I know August Wilson, but that's about it. Like this is a person who can, this person can pick up the book and learn about Black theater in the 19th century to post-race considerations today. So that's that's sort of the first audience. The second audience is students, right? So I envision this book being adopted in courses, and it already has been. And the third is sort of a more general reader, who might be interested in sort of some aspect of Black theater, but not quite sure what. And you can sort of hop around, skip through chapters and get what you need in that moment. So it's those three audiences that I envision. I've been a member of ATHA for a long time. Since 1999. And I have many conversations with people, in the book exhibit lobby, in the hallways, outside. And what they often tell me is that, they wish their university had a class on Black theater. And then often what they would say is they'd say, well, unfortunately, we're not hiring anyone, and I don't feel qualified to teach the course. And this book is a book that actually targets that audience, right? It's a book that says, hey, if you want to offer this class but you feel uncomfortable, this book will kind of hold your hand and assist you in gaining the comfort and the knowledge to teach the class. It's a book that will appeal to your students. It's a chance for you to, as a reader, feel like you're meeting and being lectured to by some amazing scholars.